welcome to another video. This one is going to be about how to self-reflect or how to start self-reflecting. Self-reflection is when you examine your own thoughts, ideas, etc. and it's the conscious thoughts, conscious feelings. And it sounds simple and pretty shallow when you haven't done it before or heard of it before and it's the first time. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I know already what I'm thinking. But it's deeper than that. It's one of the most powerful tools you'll develop as a person in general. And most young players, they haven't discovered this tool yet. And in one of my past videos, I talked about how to take notes and how notes is one of the best ways to think about your game, learn how to think in game or how you think in game. And it's one of the best ways you can reflect on yourself and your progress, your thoughts, your feelings, everything as a coach and player. And just to put it into context, for an example, if you go in game and you feel that you're angry for something that happened in game, but you can't stop playing ranked, and you keep getting angry and you keep getting more not addicted to, but you can't stop playing because you feel like you need to justify something, or maybe you're losing rating and it feels bad. And it's hard to stop that if you're not aware of it, because tilt sets in before you're actually able to be aware of it. And in order to stop tilt or anything else, sadness, when you can't realize that you're tired and you should go sleep and you keep playing anyways, if you're having too much fun or you're not too serious or you are too serious, for example, these things are hard to realize unless you take a step back. For example, you have to take a step back and then you have to look at everything and then you can analyze yourself basically. So if you're not used to self-reflect or even reflect on anything, in schools, early years in school, I'm not sure if it's common across every country, but for how it is in Sweden, for example, you're taught to write down notes or journals depending on what you do, and then you're told to read the notes, and the reason for it is because it's helpful in the sense that you frame the way you were thinking and you frame the state of mind you had. And when you look back at it at a later time, you're basically not dealing with the biases and such that you had at the time. And it's more easier to strip away everything that distracted you or caused the noise and have a clear state of mind. So if you're not used to reflect on your own thoughts, it's hard to start with. It's a thing that is hard to start with because it's essentially a routine, and any routine is hard to start with. And then when things get going, then it's easy to keep it going. But yeah, the questions you might have, for example, why am I not getting better? What should I do next? Why am I angry? All these things that you might feel in game as a player or coach can be answered by exploring unknown territory, for example. And the answer to those questions are answers that only you yourself will be able to know. And in order to find them, you need to go look for them, of course. So in order to look at yourself, basically, as I mentioned before, you need to step back and then you come back. It's basically like looking at the world. You go out in space, then you come back and you look at everything from a perspective where you can see everything. And when you have this perspective, things start to make more sense. Things seem more connected and it feels like everything is more logical, basically. You don't have as many choices and you don't have as many decisions to make. And there's not much that distracts your mind, basically, or puts worries. For example, you don't have to decide between A and B. Instead, you have only one thing because it feels natural. And it's because you're speaking with with your intuition, essentially. And as I mentioned as well, you're able to strip away the biases and such. It's basically replacing the idea of identity with a clear view on the core self. And you'll see exactly what's important to you and how you perceive things, and where you're basically moving forward and what you're moving towards. So for example, if we're a coach and our goal is to be a strategic coach, we might not know where to progress next. But if we ask ourselves, I want to be the best strategic coach, or I want to have the best strategic mind for the game, or, my English isn't perfect, but if you ask questions like these, and you try to imagine what the future might look like, you'll be able to make up some of the best scenarios, basically, and it's essentially like a compass. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, in order to understand yourself and pinpoint these answers, you need to ask the questions. As I mentioned in many videos and articles that I've made, you need to ask yourself the questions that you can only ask yourself. And it's not, you don't ask yourself, how do I get better at strategy? That's a really bad question to ask yourself. Instead, you ask, I want to become better at strategies, but what might the way look like to that goal? You have to you have to set a goal, and then you break it in steps. Maybe you need to learn more characters. Maybe you need to play some more characters. You need to up your own experience with the game. Maybe you need to look at more VODs. Maybe you need to understand team chemistry more. There's many things, and only you will be able to know exactly what you need. So, summing it up, when you reflect like this on Overwatch, you can reflect on anything basically in the same way. And you don't really need references to Overwatch, but it's a lot easier, of course. And for example, when you look at defeats in matches, why did I lose this match? Why did I feel like the world basically ended when I came second in a important tournament? And it's the same type of discoveries you make as if you failed a test, if you didn't get a job, if you lost someone, or all these things. It's the same type of reflection, because you're looking at yourself and how you're feeling, and it's not looking at the details, you're looking at the essential stuff. So I hope this brings like a start, or like an idea on how to start reflecting on your own thoughts and feelings and why it is important. And it's mostly for the young viewers, as I mentioned. Hope you like it.